Where did that inspiration come from? Is that something that you just test, or is it?
So in Japan, this is when like the HTC Vive like came out, like opening week kind of thing in 2016, early. They had Bandai Namco set up an experiment in a suburb in Japan, and it's a suburb that had that giant robot. So we went to see that, and this was on our honeymoon, my wife Tony and I, and she's the CEO of the business, of the company. They had they had a plank experience, and I'm like, holy shit! Oh, that was everyone there was waiting to do this plank. They had like 12 other VR experiences that they had made as well, and none of them were being used. Only this plank one was being used. So, mad respect to them for being the first to do a heights experience in virtual reality. It was definitely an inspiration for us. It inspired me. But when I tried it, I'm like, oh, I could definitely see some areas of improvement. And we designed a way that you might have used where you buy a plank of wood from your hardware store of any size and shape and height and length and width, and you pop it into your living room, and you use the tools inside the game to clone that plank, and it like to millimeter accuracy, and it really makes the brain think it's real. And
yeah, I think that is a really a brilliant technique. I haven't used it with a plank, but I can definitely understand that it would be a much more frightening and immersive experience that way. But was that something that you designed from the beginning? Like, oh, we need a plank in this, or was that something that came along while building?
No, that was pretty much the only reason I wanted to do it. To design a way to map it and stay in the right position. I knew if that wasn't going to work, we weren't going to get the marketing that we were after in order to get sales. So we needed that feature from this. Like that was a definite, and it worked. Like the first version I made in a weekend, and it looked hideous. Like the graphics were just. I opened it up the other day, and I was very embarrassed. But we took it to a friend. Yeah. No, it did. We took it to a friend's Mexican restaurant and asked if we could set it up there to experiment on their customers. Oh, and nice. The customers loved it, and the staff loved it, and they were all like, some of them were terrified. They wouldn't leave the elevator, and that's like we're like, oh, we're onto something. So.
Okay, so even with the very first version, it already was very immersive.
Yeah, and it was just ugly white boxes as buildings with, and
awesome.
We released it onto the Steam with a little bit of an updated graphics, as good as a developer can do. And one of the comments in the first week was the graphics look like they found the worst looking building assets in that Unity asset store, and said, nah, I think I can do worse than that. I was like, oh, fair play. So we went and hired a photorealism modeler, and a few months after that, and they helped it look like it does today.